getting back on trail. I did get out before 11, 10 minutes before 11, but it's before 11, and just want to get as many miles as I can because it's the big uphill tomorrow. It's also Wednesday. Originally planned to go on Tuesday, but yesterday morning I just wasn't feeling it. Didn't have the bag packed, and I'm glad I did. I feel a lot better today than I did yesterday. So I'll check back in whenever I get on. Oh, and my pack's 47 pounds. It doesn't feel too bad, but it took me about 3 tries to get everything in there, and my tent is on the back, on the outside of the pack. Hopefully you can hear all this because it got windy all of a sudden. Came from that way 3 days ago. I'm going this way. I think there's a campground that this road leads to, but I'm trail all the way. No shortcuts for me. Came from that way. Only a couple miles in, so no real change yet. The pack being heavy doesn't seem that bad, but I haven't had to do much uphill yet either. And it's not really that hot, so good day so far. Came from that way, South Fork of the Kern River. Going up that way, coming from that way. Maybe I didn't mention earlier, but today and tomorrow are all pretty much going to be uphill. I don't know what made me think to mention that now. But it's getting prettier every mile. Coming from there. Going there. Crag Creek. Gonna get some water here. It's 2:45. Not making the kind of miles I'd like, but that's all right. That's a lonely tree. That's his closest friend. Anyway, coming that way and going up there. The wind's really picking up and still going uphill, and the vegetation really hasn't changed much yet. But that just reminds me, 2017, last 20 miles or so, I can remember coming down out of the mountains and seeing this desert type vegetation and getting excited because I knew I was at the end of my hike. But yeah, the wind's getting pretty strong. Hopefully this external mic is working. But going that way. Came from way down there. Hopefully the external mic's working. This might be very similar to what we've already seen. I thought it was cool. I think I've decided that I'm going to camp at the edge of Beck Meadow. Beck's Meadow, which is up over that rise. So that means I'm probably about an hour away from making camp. Going that way. So this is Beck Meadow, and this is a nice change from the last 700 miles. A little stream, still a little over a half mile from where I planned to camp. But this is nice. It's windy, but it is nice. They're not going fast at first. I got here sooner than I expected. It's only 6:15. This is going to be my campsite. About 450 foot off of the trail. That little stream's right there. And there's pine needles, fire ring, and I've got my choice of a few different flat spots for my tent. Life is good. Out of camp before 7 today. It was 60 degrees whenever I set up camp last night. It was about 35 whenever I got up this morning. Yesterday I went from 6,000 foot to 8,000 foot. Today let's see if I can get over 10,000. Wind died down shortly after sunset, and that was nice. Now I'm ready to get my morning started. Kern River looks a little bit different up here. Next 8 miles are uphill. Gonna go up about 2,700 foot. And I still had a liter of water from camp, so I drank half of it. And I've got about 2.5 miles where it starts getting steep. So I'm going to enjoy it. And there's going to be water almost all the way up, so glad I won't be carrying any of that. Going up that way. Going up that way. I'm glad I got so many shots of the Meadow because I turned the corner and it was gone. Over there is Cow Creek. And until I see it on the map, I'm going to assume this is Cow Creek Valley. Coming from that way. The Meadow's down over there. Pretty day. Cow Creek is a lot prettier than I expected. And this is Cow Canyon. Got about 5 miles uphill, starting to get steep. Coming from that way. Going up that way. Going up there somewhere. Well, I'm at 10,000 foot, actually 10,082 foot. Still have like 1.5 miles of uphill, level off. And I've got a few miles of downhill, level off. And we'll see if I can get back up to 10,000 foot today. Anyway, patches of snow, nothing worth getting the ice spikes out for. And it's a pretty day. I've been sneezing and snotting all day. I don't know what's gotten into me, but that's why my voice sounds a little rough going that way. Coming up from that way. Let me hit that again because that's just gorgeous. How lucky am I to be out here doing this? I didn't fill up like a mile back because I was sure there'd be a stream like this that's not on the map. It's just snow melt. Was able to get that better view while I was sitting, and I had just passed a couple of hikers I know heading south. One of them was having headaches similar to altitude sickness, so they're heading back down, and that's really important to know about. We lost a hiker a couple years ago to that, so I'll probably edit this a couple days in advance of uploading it. So if I forget to put the link to that info in the description, please somebody remind me in the comments, because that's really important to know about. Still got a little bit more up. I'm guessing that way, but who knows. Came from over that snowbank and down over there. Still going up. Still got snow enough to be annoying, not enough to be dangerous. But I got a new view. Coming around from over there. Yeah, it's starting to slow me down a little bit. I figure as soon as I put on my spikes, then I'll get into rocks. I don't know how long I've been slipping and sliding around, but from where I'm at on the map and where the trail goes, I think it's smart to just go ahead and put them on. I think I probably have at least a half mile to a mile dealing with this stuff. So 5 minutes after putting on the spikes, trail's been dry or patchy as far as I could see. So I took them off. Now I'm going to stop and drink some water and put them in their pouch. So let's see what happens to the snow then. So I've gone over a saddle at 10,500 foot, seeing some snow again on this side. Gonna have to decide pretty quick whether I want to put on spikes or not, because I just put them back in the backpack. Gonna be heading downhill for a couple of miles, and there might be some switchbacks that'll be hard to see if they're covered in snow, but if I slide down, I'll be heading in the right direction. Well, I didn't use the spikes, but I probably could have. And switchbacks really weren't an issue. Whenever I'm in town, I think I need to buy a better compass than this one. And it looks like I should be good to go from here. Partial view. Darn trees are in the way. Can't see the forest. coming down from that way. And yeah, I'm set down. Yesterday I said the next 2 days were almost all up. I'm pretty sure that's what I said. Gonna drop down to 9,000 foot. That way I get to go up more tomorrow. I'm heading that way. All this is manzanita. Towards the beginning of the trail, saw manzanita grown up as big as a regular apple tree. And here it's just barely a bush, ground cover. Going that way. Coming down from up there. It's warming up as I go down, which would be great, except I wasn't cold before. Get more big rocks, and the downhill seems pretty flat. Might mean I'm getting close to the bottom. I haven't checked for a little bit. I was cruising on that downhill, across water sources. Gonna get some water here. Hopefully after the break my feet don't tell me I was cruising too hard. Legs liked it though. Came from that way, going that way. I think I've got a few miles of mostly flat. Y'all know how I like big rocks. Those, or these, would be great campsites. If it wasn't 4:30, I would definitely snag one of them. But next place I'm going to get water is Death Canyon Creek. Sounds exciting, doesn't it? It's 5 till 5. Lots of water here. I guess I never got off trail to get a view of the canyon, because I figured that if you're going past something called Death Canyon, you're going to let the hikers see it. Not to be confused with the valley of the same name. There are a bunch of hikers up there, and I see even more setting up there. So both because of the early hour and just because I need quiet, I'm going to keep going. It's going to start getting steep, but there's campsites in like 1.5 miles and 500 foot up. I can handle it. I'm going to need water. I'm sure there's water up there, but there's none on the map. Coming up from there, I've got 3 liters on me. And I talked real big about going on to those next campsites on the map, but I can see there's flat spots up there. It's still pretty. I like big rocks coming up from that way. Going that way. It's only 5:30. I got plenty of hike left in me. Again, this is nice. I think I got more in me. Check out that view up there. This is the campsite I had in mind. Looks almost exactly like one I already passed up. There's the trail, way I came. Going that way. About 350 foot back, I saw a spot that was farther off trail. Not quite as flat, kind of rocky. The next campsite on the map is 4/10 of a mile. It's even steeper than the way I came. So I'm going to drop my pack and try to think real hard about what I want to do. If I got up there and it was full of hikers, I'd cry. Here's my compromise. That other spot in the trail are over there. And I'm going to find the levelest spot over here. There's a fire ring. Not that that's important to anybody, but this looks like a good spot. I can hear wind, but I can't feel any. There's some clouds on the horizon, so maybe I'll be able to get a good sunset. There's some clouds over there too. Didn't want to camp too close to the water because I didn't want to wake up wet. I checked the weather. There's not supposed to be any rain in the forecast, but you know how mountain weather is. Not a bad pitch. I almost talked myself into keeping going. I got a 19-mile day, and the bigger miles I do changes some food math on how far I have to go before I bail out of the mountains and head to town. But tomorrow, right now, I'm above 9,000 feet. I think 9,500. But tomorrow I'll get up over 1050 or 10,500. And I'm going to stay up above 10,000. So maybe I should wait and see how tomorrow goes before I start making any big plans. So that wasn't a trick. What I used for my tinder today is this stuff. I guess this is from the flowers or whatever from the old growth. And you can find it underneath the bushes, sometimes even washed into little piles. But I really didn't expect it to catch like that. I thought I was going to catch a spark and get an ember going. Anyway, I just like playing with fire.